So today we're going to be tying this single stage rubber leg tube fly. This tube fly is easy to cast, incorporates EP brush as a prop in it, and is also applicable for a number of different species. This fly has caught me chum salmon, coho salmon, chinook salmon, steelhead, as well as sea run cutthroat. Today we're going to be tying the chum version specifically using EP anadromous brushes in chartreuse. To start, we've got our tube here with a large sonic disc in chartreuse. Now this is a Pro Sport Fisher 40/40 tube, but the rear end of it, I've chopped it in half with a razor blade so I can stinger rig a loop knot with a loop-to-loop hook out the end of it, which we will have displayed in a photograph. To start, I've chopped off a small piece of EP brush. It is about an inch, actually probably about 2 inches. Now you can see I've left some of the end exposed for tying, as well as some of the rear exposed for ease of handleability. Now this is just how it comes stock out of the package. Something that I like to do is to give it a little bit more structure within the water so it can support itself a little better, is instead of having both sides of equal length, I'll go through and actually trim one side slightly shorter so that when I wrap it, it supports all the longer fibers on the other side from underneath. So to start, I'm going to be tying it in with the small exposed piece on the end here. The thread I'm using today is perfect for it. It's Vivus 10/0. It's thin enough that it doesn't create a particularly large amount of bulk, but at the same time it's strong enough that when tying in wires, other sharper materials, maybe tying your wire down on a return eye shank, it won't break your thread. Got that securely locked in. Gonna make a couple wraps up to get my bobbin out of the way. I'm going to take everything and I'm going to fold it back. Now you can see how much stiffer these short fibers are, and already they're flaring out quite a bit more than the longer ones, giving it some great support from within. Now I've got to the very end, I've got a full shoulder here with nothing but my exposed wire left. You're going to want to make a couple wraps behind the wire with your bobbin. Fold that wire back. Make a couple wraps over top of that. Then from there you can either use a small pair of tungsten carbide scissors or a pair of wire cutters to cut the remaining tag of wire. Now I like to give it a little bit of a crimp and then a wiggle. Crimped it, got that off of there. Now the base for our fly is finished and we're ready to continue with the next step, which is flash blue. There's kind of a darker royal blue, a kingfisher blue, and then a lighter, more electric blue. This is the lightest of the three. I'll take generally 3 to 4 strands at a time. Place them on the tube. Make 2 or 3 wraps. Fold them back over. Make another 2 or 3 wraps to face those remaining ends rearward. From here, I'll do this in a 360-degree fashion all the way around the tube. So we've got our fly shaboo wrapped in a 360-degree fashion. The next step to this fly, we're going to be tying in a set of rubber legs in another 360-degree skirt to unveil the fly shaboo and give it a bit more chartreuse wiggle in there. So now I'm going to be tying in a set of crazy legs in yellow and chartreuse. I like to grab 2 of them at a time, tie them in the exact same way we did with the fly shaboo. Get a couple of them in there. So now we've got our rubber legs tied in 360 degrees all the way around. Second to last step is we're going to take a kingfisher blue schlappen feather. We're just going to tie this in to add some color contrast towards the front of the fly. Now the last part to this fly, as you can see, we've got quite a bit of bulk up here in the head. Something that I like to do as opposed to throwing a cone head over my fly is I'll actually take a hot 1/4 inch orange bead and I'll throw that over the head. But something that I'll do with my bead so it fits over the tube is I'll take either a drill or maybe an old pair of tungsten carbide bladed scissors, and I'll just remount the front of this hole slightly so you can see that that is a little bit bigger than just the standard hole in one of these 1/4 inch beads. Now there you have it, folks. Our fly is finished and ready to go. I personally like to call this one the Chum Whacker. It's chartreuse and blue and an excellent coast color for Oregon chum fishing, and chum anywhere in the world for that matter.